So this video is to give you a guide on how to bench press correctly and safely to help you build more muscle and get stronger. The first point we're going to look at is where you set the bar height within the rack. Now, when you set the height, you want to be able to lift it off yourself without the shoulders coming too far forward. So if it's too high and I pull off, I'm already in a bad position before I start the press. So if you don't have a spotter, it should be able to just be lifted off a little bit, but still keeping those shoulders back. The next point we're going to discuss is where your foot position is when you bench press. And this is something people definitely do make a mistake with, and they don't think of how the feet are involved within the press. So when setting yourself, you want to have the heels behind the knees, and you want to walk the feet back a little bit. This will give you a contraction in the glutes and around the hips. This will stop your bum from lifting off the bench when you press. This also helps when we're on the pressing phase to push through the floor. And this may feel uncomfortable, but that's what you want, because then it allows you to stay tight throughout the movement. Next we're going to look at where your grip position should be on the bar. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm talking about a traditional power bench press that you'd use, a recreational gym user would use. Now, there are certainly like bodybuilders who may go wider as they want to recruit pecs a little bit more, or powerlifters that may go with a really wide grip as it decreases the range of motion. But if you're not competing in powerlifting, or even then I'd question it, you don't need to be going that wide, and that can also put a lot of stress through the shoulder. Grip will vary as well from person to person depending on limb lengths and structures. But as a guide, this is what we'll follow. So if you place your arms up in this position here, and then grip the bar, now, when you're benching and you grip that bar, what you want to think about is to squeeze the bar as hard as you can throughout the movement. This will create tension that then translates through the arms up into the back and puts you in a stronger position. Next, we're going to look at bar position and where the bar should be when you're at the start, and as you lower it, the bar path that it should follow. So when we lower the bar, it should come down to around the nipple line. If you lower the bar too high on the chest, then this puts you at a weak position to press up, as you see in the first example. The other mistake that people make is lowering the bar too low down the body, and again this brings the bar further away from the most efficient path. So on the bar path, we should expect to see a little deviation from a straight line. The bar shouldn't move in a straight line. There will be a little bit of movement back towards the face. But certainly when you lower it, you want to be in a position where the wrist and elbow are in alignment and that you've got a nice straight line there. That puts you in the strongest position to press on the way up. Next, we're going to look at packing the shoulders before you press. This helps to put the chest in a more powerful position to press, and also it's a safer position for the shoulders so you don't get things like shoulder pain from benching. So when we unrack the bar, what we want to do is pull the shoulder blades down and back into the bench. This will then create an arch in the lower back. This should feel like the upper back is tense and that you're locked in position. And you hold this throughout the movement. Now what commonly happens on this is people don't set the shoulders, they're there and they press, and the shoulders are just loose in the joint. This is not a good position for safety or for maximizing your muscle and strength gains. A simple drill of what you can understand how this works is if you place the arms here like this, and then just pull your shoulder blades back and down. That's the position we want to be in when we bench press. Not in this position here where the shoulders are all loose. So there, pull back, hold in that position. We lower the bar, press up. Keeping that throughout. Next step we're going to cover is your breathing and what to do when you're lowering the bar. So my personal preference of how to breathe during the bench press, if I'm doing lower reps, I will hold my breath throughout. Lower reps being between 1 to 3. I'll hold my breath throughout the set. If I'm doing any more than that, then what I'll do is I may hold for 3 breaths and then reset again. Now the breathing is set at the top of each rep. So when we're here with the bar, what you want to do is take a big breath in and up. Now, if you're not used to holding your breath through reps, I recommend setting the breath at the top of each rep, holding that as you lower, and then when you know on the way up that a difficult part of the lift is coming for you, time your breath out with that. And then the next thing we want to cover is when we're lowering the bar, how this should feel. Now, what you want to think about is that when you're lowering the bar, imagine you're pulling the bar down into you, or another cue that people like to use is ripping the bar apart as you lower it. This helps to create more tension around the upper back and in the lats. It's known as giving you a shelf to help you press from. So this puts you in a stronger position off the chest and sets you for a good press. The last step we're going to look at is the pressing phase. And when we press, we want to make sure that we're using the whole body to move that weight up. So, we've set our foot position with the heels behind the knees, the grip set, and we've pulled the bar down into us, lowering here. Now when we press out here, we want to push through the floor and drive the weight all the way up to lockout, and then repeat. Cues that I like to use that are in my mind when I'm pressing the weight up is to think, pushing the bar away from me and pushing myself into the bench, or pressing the weight through the ceiling. Something that helps you to externally motivate you to push that weight up.